The owl and the pussycat went to sea on a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a £5 note.
And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm, that could abash that little bird that kept so many warm.
Monmouth is a small, rather quaint town on the border between England and Wales.
It was lovely. The hay fields high as the house, the tunes from the chimneys, it was air and playing, lovely and watery, and fire green as grass.
Monmouth Literary Festival is a cooperation between the three schools, Monmouth Comprehensive, Monmouth Boys' School and Haberdashers' Monmouth School for Girls, in order to sort of bring all of the youth of Monmouth together.
Tomorrow it's back to the regular grind. Today, just go crazy, we won't really mind. So tear up your homework. We'll give you an A. Oh wait, we're just kidding. It's April Fool's Day.
We had lots of authors visit, we had pop-up poets throughout the week, so many interesting things going on.
So where are you from?
I'm from Chepstow, but I go to Monmouth Comprehensive School.
What's your name?
My name's Blake.
What are you doing today?
We're going to be doing some pop-up poetry today, so we're going into Waitrose, outside Coffee 1, and also the Shire Hall. I'm just reading poetry and hopefully the public are going to stop and listen, hopefully.
I'm so nervous for it.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry.
Yeah, hopefully. Have you any news of my boy, Jack? Not this tide. When do you think that he'll come back? Not with this wind blowing and this tide. Has anyone else had word of him? Not this tide. For what is sunk will hardly swim. Not with this wind blowing and this tide. Oh dear, what comfort can I find? None this tide, nor any tide. Except he did not shame his kind, not even with that wind blowing and that tide. Then hold your head up, all the more this tide and every tide, because he was the son you bore, and gave to that wind blowing and that tide.
Philip Wells was one of the most inspirational people I think I've ever heard talk. He's walking 1,000 miles from Cornwall to Anglesey to raise awareness of the Barefoot Billion, which is the billion children in poverty across the world. It's a bit nutty if you think about it, but absolutely inspirational.
Man had a splatter of slinging a wrong and winging a song and walking to your heart with drum shoes on, of slinging a wrong and winging a song and walking to your heart with drum shoes on.
He didn't just talk about himself and what he'd done, his poetry. He asked all of the students what they thought.
And when the ammo was well spent, with blood on every chair, silence shuffled forward with its hands up in the air.
CJ Doherty is one of the most fascinating people I've ever seen speak. She's incredible. Like, she was talking about spies and writing about crimes and blood. She talked to the students about how she's worked her way up and how you don't necessarily have to be writing novels to be a writer. Very confidence boosting for all of those people who want to be writers but don't know how to get into the industry.
I've lost my desire for doing the deeds any dragon should do. But since I can't alter my nature, I guess I'll just terrify you.
Warm. I'm the chocolate shop. The kids put their money down and say, "Please miss, can I buy this?" I see them take chocolate off the shelves and share it with their friends. Adults get tempted by the chocolate aroma and the chocolate that will melt in their mouths.
The Board of Writers was based in Monmouth Library, headed by Jonathan Edwards, who's a published poet. And the Board of Writers was one of the winners of poetry competitions within the three schools who came together to write a large poem about Monmouth.
Warmth. I am a tree. All I can see is beautiful landscape at day and cascading stars at night. I sway back and forth on a gusty evening, looking down at my hand, watching the glistening sun as it blinds people. As they come and sit around my shade, I look to see when my day ends.
Leo Island was just balmy. He was crazy. All of these primary school children were all clapping and reciting along with him.
And a face the colour of dough, although he has fists like a brick and arms as thick as an old oak bough. Shall we find him a cow and tell him to plough up a field where he sticks like glue? And what about you? Are you trying to woo my bit of stuff by giving her a mink fur coat and muff? I'm trying to too. There isn't enough room for the two of us, so you can puff your way upstairs to the loo in a huff. I'm through with you. Shove off.
I think the way in which he did that was absolutely wonderful. You know, he was hilarious.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May.
The pop-up poets was a joint venture between the three schools where we sent out our young poets who wanted to recite poetry into Coffee, Wine and Waitrose. They recited poetry for whoever was there. They just popped up in the middle of the shop and recited all of this poetry, and they had wonderful reception. That was basically our way of raising awareness, because we hope Monmouth Literary Festival will be an annual event, and so we hope maybe next year to get more pop-up poets out into the community and more public lectures.
What eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life. This is Shakespeare, Sonnet 18. We're doing Monmouth Literary Festival. We're just doing fashionable poetry.
I recognised it, but couldn't